Morning, Alex. How are we doing?
Very well, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this morning and being in the spotlight for the Joinery Hour this morning. We've already had some interesting conversations on the floor, so
Yeah.
we'll, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself, mate, and who you are, what you do, the company, etc., please.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everybody. My name's Alex McClymont. I am the Customer Engagement Advisor for Derby and Derbyshire for the Construction Industries Training Board, better known as the CITB. And my role within the company is to support levy-registered employers in accessing training, accessing grants, and funding for training and apprenticeships, and helping bridge the gap between yourselves and new entrants and upskilling current staff.
Awesome. So, what sort of companies? What is a spectrum of companies that you work with on a what they do, like construction, joinery, whatever, and what sort of sizes of business? Give us a bit of an overview of that, please.
Yeah, sure. So we work with all construction companies of all sizes, from your one-man bands up to your large primary contractors, PAYEs from anything from 1 to over 1,000. So we do cover them all.
Awesome. And I guess I'm not expecting you to know a percentage here, Alex. If you do, great. But is there a fair amount of manufacturing businesses, going back to what we were talking about a minute ago? Is there a fair amount of manufacturing business that you are working with?
There is, yeah. We cover all sectors, all different industries. So I don't have the actual figures, but yeah, we do cover a large number of manufacturing companies.
Okay, so if you wouldn't mind just touching on what sort of courses are available specifically for our at the moment. Obviously, things are changing all the time, but if you could just touch on what sort of courses are available for our specific audience today.
Yeah, sure. So there's a lot of wood operation courses, such as there's AutoCAD courses, wood machine operation courses for like boring, jointing, planing, profiling, sawing, handling materials in woodworks. If you go to CITB's website, there's that many courses that we fund and grant aided. It's impossible to provide a list, so there is a search where you can just type in a particular course or sort of sector, and it will bring up a full list of courses. We also cover MVQs for site carpentry, architectural joinery, and we also provide grants for architectural joinery, level 2s and level 3s, and also carpentry and joinery apprenticeships as well.
Awesome. And what about a little bit about how the funding actually works? And I guess we'll talk a little bit about the levy, obviously, because we've just been speaking about that as well. So how the funding works in conjunction with the levy and what that actually means when people get involved with CITB.
Yeah, sure. So anyone that's levy registered, CITB are governed to impose a levy. So, but it basically goes depending on your annual wage bill. So just to give you some figures, so if your total annual wage bill is below £120,000, you're what's called levy exempt. So you don't have to pay a levy. You do have to submit an annual levy return. That's standard. It's a very, very simple form. It's just information such as your company details, up-to-date contact details, how many people you employ, PAYE, and what your annual wage bill is for both PAYE and net CIS. Like I say, if that falls under 120,000, you're levy exempt. So you don't have to pay a levy, but you can claim all the benefits, all the funding, all the grants that come along with the levy. If your levy bill is between 120,000 and 400,000, there is a levy bill produced. It's charged at 0.35% on any directly employed and 1.25% on any subcontractors. So just to give you a couple of examples, if an employer was a one-man band, just employed himself, he paid himself around 36,000, but he used subcontractors and had a annual subcontractor wage bill of about 226,000, so £26,000 tax contribution. His annual bill would be around £880. Okay. Another example, if there was an employer that just had directly employed, didn't use subcontractors, had roughly about 20 PAYE, and an annual wage bill of around 350,000. His annual levy bill would be around £1,500. So it's you don't have to pay it all at once. It can be spread out over the year, but you can also, our job as advisors is to make sure you try and get out of it more than what you put in. So and that's what we do, and we do it well.
So so that's the levy. How does the actual funding work? So let's say I'm a joiner and I have a few employees. Let's just forget the levy for a moment and say I'm levy exempt. What I want to do a couple of machine courses for my guys to bring their skill set up, or to satisfy health and safety, or whatever it might be. How does the funding work? What's typical?
Okay, so as standard, there's grant attached to a lot of construction courses, including manufacturing courses. So if you went to go and book a course with a training provider, once that course is done, the training provider will put in a grant claim for you, so you'd get money back. So just for example, so the grant is paid in 3 tiers for short duration courses. So tier 1, 2, and 3. So tier 1 is £60 grant back, tier 2 is £120 grant back, and tier 3 is £240 grant back. So say, for example, there was a course at £500. You would go to the training provider, you'd book the course, you'd pay the £500. After the course is completed, you would receive £240 back. So that means you, the business, would be charged, it'd cost you £260 for that course. So that's how the grants work as standard. There is additional funding that supports the cost that you have to pay. So it supports the full cost of that £260. And that is the skills and training funding, which your local CITB advisor can help you put together and claim. And you can claim depending on how many directly employed members of staff you have. The funding ranges from £2,500 for a one-man band, all the way up to £25,000 for employers with below 251 PAYE. So,
right. So
the training course is fully covered.
So effectively, that £500 course, if I do, I don't know, 6 of those a year, in reality, it's all going to be fully funded as long as I'm filling the right forms out.
Yeah. So like I say, your local CITB advisor will help you with the applications, because they are a little bit daunting when you first look at them trying to work it all out. We do it as a day-to-day, so we can put an application together. We'll do a training needs analysis with you. So we'll come to see you, do a full training needs analysis for any training courses that you want or need to do, as well as any MVQs for the correct CSCS cards to be site compliant. And that's CSS cards from skilled workers all the way up to senior managers for the level 7 or level 6 MVQs that we can fully fund as well.
Brilliant. And a little bit about how you generally work with a customer once onboarded. And I know this is a big question, because you can't answer this gospelly for every single equivalent of Alex, but so you can answer it how it should be done and how you do it, please.
Yep.
So if I was to come to you and you're going to be my guy, how do you deal with me once I've gone, right, okay, I'm in, I want to do all these courses, I want to, do you work with me to create my program for the next 12 months, or is it down to me to tell you? How does it all go?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first stage is I want to come see you. I think it's important. Information is key. So I want to come see you. I want to see your business. I want to see how you operate. I want to know everything about you. So when we come, we'll put together a training needs analysis. So we'll find out exactly who you've got working for you, what your projections are over the next 12 months, if you've got a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, where you want to go with the business, what sort of contracts you're working on, and how we can support that. So also if we can identify any skills gaps that you may have. So my job is obviously to do the training needs analysis with you. We'll work together on that. It won't be just employer led. I will find out through information what is required, how to upskill your current staff if you're looking at growing, how we can support with apprenticeships. And then once we've got an idea of, say, like a 12-month training plan, we can then look at what funding stream we can use to fully fund it and support you.
Lovely. And a little bit on apprenticeships. How does that work? And again, obviously, you've got lots in the construction space, but our primarily target is joinery manufacturing, whether it be KBB, whether it be doors and windows, furniture, etc. So, what sort of how does the apprenticeships work, and what sort of apprenticeships have you got going at the moment?
Yeah, so there's a long list of apprenticeships that qualify for grant on our website. Carpentry and joinery is one of them, and it's usually a 2-year apprenticeship. So for a 2-year apprenticeship, over the 2 years, you can claim £8,500 towards that apprenticeship. That's paid at £2,500 per year, and then at the end of the endpoint assessment, you paid a lump sum of £3,500. So the £2,500 a year is paid every 13 weeks. And what we do as well is we've introduced a team called the New Entrant Support Team that solely deal with apprenticeships. So they will engage with you. It's another team that work alongside the advisors to support the employer, not only to help recruit. We can help recruit for new staff, for new apprentices. We use platforms such as like Talent View to help get your company out there for you to advertise as well and find candidates. But once we've got a candidate, we help you on board with the local college that delivers that course, and obviously they make sure that you get all your grants, and they do health checks every 13 weeks as well, just to make sure everybody's happy, everybody's still on program, and there's no issues.
Brilliant. And obviously in our industry, I hear a lot that we've got a huge skills shortage, labour shortages. So apprenticeships, some people have been scarred by apprenticeships in the past. But if you were to, if you look at it, it's probably a good avenue worth exploring at the very least. But if you, random question, but if you started down the route of an apprenticeship and you got your apprentice on board and they were not great, how do you go about stopping that? Like, are you stuck, or can you what do you do about that?
No, you've got full rights to be able to stop, but our advisor will help you with that as well. They'll help you communicate with the college to come to a solution. But if that person's not right for you as a business, then they're not right. There's many other students. But something we introduced last year was there's a new grant called Interwork Grant, and it basically it's a cash incentive for levy-registered employers to take on people through work experience that are currently on a full-time college course. So where you say people have been stung in the past with apprentices, we understand that, and that's why the New Entrant Support Team has been created to fully support the employer with things like that. So with the New Entrant Support, the Interwork grants, if you were to give somebody work experience that's currently on a full-time college course, it's minimum 30 hours. That's the commitment from yourself as an employer. That's all. We will pay you a £500 cash incentive. If you were then to take them on, after 3 months of employment, whether it's employment direct or through an apprenticeship, we'll pay you a £1,000 cash incentive. So for a learner, you can have a £15 cash incentive. So obviously the money's not always the goal for the employer. It's getting the right person. So you can do that up to 5 times in a 12-month period.
Wow.
So what we recommend for small employers, if they're adamant that they've only got the space to take on one new apprentice, what we say is maybe give 3 people work experience, 4 people work experience, just to try different people, and just pick the best one out of them. So then you'll get the cash incentive. Yeah, you'll get the cash incentive for the work experience of 3-4 people, and then if one obviously stands out to you, everything clicks, and you feel that you can work with that person, and then you take them on, and then you get further cash incentive on top of your standard apprenticeship grant.
Excellent. Okay, well, if there's anything else that you think I've missed, blurt it out now, Alex. It will go back to the floor, and people can come to your table and ask any questions.
Yeah, so I can't stress enough, if you are levy registered, or even if you're not and you want to find out more, please go to CITB's website, and there's a page dedicated to engagement advisors throughout the country. Just have a look at which ones in your region and get in contact with them, and they'll be more than happy to help. Something CITB is piloting at the moment is a new funding stream called the Employer Network, and this is going to be employer-led. So I'm the engagement advisor for Derbyshire, so it's part of D2N2. So we have the Employer Network going live very shortly. It's been piloted for the last 12 months, and it's been a complete success, to be totally honest with you. And this is basically a chance for employers that are having to do training that is not grant aided, and they can present it to the network for the network to potentially fund it for them. And also where there may be resources, some companies don't have so like smaller companies might not have the resources to source training, and we can do that through the network, through our approved training organisations. So we will, again, on the back of the training needs analysis, what we do is we'd identify any training courses that are required. We will present it to the network, and the network will source it, book it, and pay for it for the employer. All the employer has to do is let us know what they want, when they want to do it, and attend the course.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll go back to the floor. If you want to jump on the networking table, Alex.
Yeah.
And then anyone that wants to ask you further questions about any of what we've discussed are welcome to do so. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Cheers.